Let's switch gears here. In its heyday, this popular New Jersey water park hosted millions of patrons unaware of the real threat that was actually posed by it.
Action Park was the chaos summer park with very little oversight, too much alcohol, whistles blowing, people screaming, motors running. It was an energy, you know? You knew you were jumping into the fire pit.
Well, this new HBO Max documentary, Class Action Park, goes into great detail to give viewers an unfiltered look at this amusement park. This morning, we're joined by the film's co-director, Seth Porges. Good morning, Seth. I am a product of Action Park. I was amazed by this documentary, and it brought me back, right? You were talking to me during the commercial break and said it was a trigger for many people. What made you want to make this film?
Yeah, so I went to Action Park a couple times as a kid, and I saw these things that were just impossible to square with my adult concept of how reality works. I like to say it felt like a glitch in the Matrix. There's no way these water slides went in full Hot Wheels loop-the-loops. There's no way the sense of chaos and just violence around me was real. And so as an adult, I wanted to investigate and see, was this real?
Oh, it was very real. I think at the time, though, I didn't know. I didn't know it was, I was just a kid, right? I was just there and thinking it was a good time. But later on, realizing people actually died. People not only died, they were injured, which was serious, but people died. So how was it allowed to actually stay open?
Well, it's amazing that you say you weren't aware of its reputation, because it wasn't really a secret. In fact, what the most astonishing thing about Action Park is that it wasn't that people went despite the fact it was dangerous. Many people went because it was dangerous. This reputation just drew in thrill seekers, teenagers from New Jersey, eager to prove that they could make it to the end of these attractions intact. And it stayed in operation the same way all these things stay in operation. A lot of political connections, some shady business, and just a general lack of oversight. You know, this place was in operation from 1978 to 1996. Shockingly few citations or fines, and actually no insurance for much of that time. The owner created a fake insurance company. Yeah, a fake insurance company based in the Cayman Islands to stay in operation.
This is what was so eye-opening, because, you know, maybe I'm just naive, right? I was very young at the time, right? Because it closed in '96, so I wasn't quite in the teenage stage of my life yet. So it was something I just wanted to do. But all of the accidents that happened at the park, they weren't kept a secret, like you were saying, right? They were reported by the media. People knew and still went.
They went because of that. You know, if you go to Six Flags or Disney World, you get to the end of Pirates of the Caribbean, you're not bragging to your friends that you made it to the end of Pirates of the Caribbean. But the rides at Action Park were such that it was really a test. You know, you have it was a very kind of 80s thing is what this place was. It was, you know, you're going on adventures without your parents, and what's going to happen? You're not really sure.
Well, here's the thing. You know, you had the infamous rides like the Cannonball Loop, right? The Alpine Slide. None of these had real engineers behind it. What did you learn about what was the most interesting thing you learned about some of these rides?
Well, it is amazing that you're right. A lot of these rides were either designed in-house by non-engineers or by people who were, you know, technically ride designers, but the kind of folks in the fringes of the ride design world who Six Flags or Disney World wanted really nothing to do with. These guys would track down the owner of the park, who developed a reputation for being willing to build anything without real testing or modeling. So if you had a kooky idea and you're a ride designer, this was your guy. This is where you go. And they build these things, and then they would literally test them by waving $100 bills in the air, and any of the 14, 15, 16-year-old employees who took a $100 bill, they'd go down to ride, they test it. That's how they tested the ride.
Seth, what do you hope people gain from watching this?
Well, I hope it validates a lot of people's childhoods and experiences. I think a lot of people from the New Jersey area went to this place, and it's become almost a myth in their own minds because they, like me, have a really hard time squaring their memories of what they saw with their concept of reality. And what I found in releasing this is so many people from New Jersey going up to me and saying, wow, I thought my husband was lying, but you're telling me this was all true. Or nobody believed me, this happened. Now I can show them this and prove to them it was true.
Yeah.
And I think just kind of removing the urban legend of it all and showing people the truth is, I think, a really important thing to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we talked about it on the morning show many times here, and I have said, well, yeah, people were injured. Yeah, you got a burn from the Alpine Slide. But but nobody really understood the concept. I had some of my friends watch this documentary who weren't from New Jersey, and they were like, I cannot believe this actually was allowed to stay open for decades. Seth, this is an incredible documentary. It is something that so many people from New Jersey were proud of surviving, but people really did lose their lives here. Class Action Park currently streaming on HBO Max. Thank you for making this.